What's up, everyone? Brian here from the Xact IT Solutions YouTube channel, and welcome to another video where we try to make you more cyber aware so you don't become featured on our channel. So today we're going to talk about billions of passwords offered for $2 on the Cyber Underground and what that means for you. So before we jump into that, remember, we don't get paid for this channel. We don't do Patreon, and we don't annoy you with ads. The only thing that we do ask is if you do find anything enlightening, entertaining, you learn something, anything good, positive that comes out of this channel or this video for you, hit that like button. It helps other people find this content on YouTube and in the interwebs, and it's much appreciated. So without further ado, let's jump into the content for today. All right, so we have this article, this post from Threat Post, where it talks about billions of passwords offered for $2 in the Cyber Underground. And this is something that I talk about quite often on this channel. And I've warned about on this channel in the past, and I've told businesses that hackers run their operations like you run your business. They are compiling databases of information to make what they do easier for them. So they're using hacks, multiple hacks, and they're compiling all that data to try to do things like guess your password and get into your account and figure out how they can exploit a target that they already have access to. There's been enough breaches in the world over, since the beginning of the internet, where there's a treasure trove of information. And what this guy did, who's offering this for sale for $2 on the dark web, is he just went around and he compiled all of the breaches into one massive database, and he's selling it. You can get access to it for just $2. So what we have here is more of a situation where somebody just aggregated data, and it's more about quantity than quality. But if you have, for $2, and you have access to somebody's network already, like you're aware that you have access, you figured out who you have access to, paying $2 to get passwords and variations of passwords and different data points of passwords that you may have used over the course of a decade can all be compiled into a piece of software that then runs to try to log into various accounts of yours, and they run those variations of passwords through this software, and it tries to figure out and guess your password. It'll add words, it'll add letters and numbers to whatever's out there to try to figure out maybe a close variation to when you changed a password, or maybe you're still using a password that's still out there. So how do you protect yourself? It's pretty simple. The first thing you need to do is you need to stop writing down your passwords and remembering your passwords. Start using a tool called a password manager. And what a password manager allows you to do, and it's the only thing that's going to make what I'm about to suggest here successful, you need to use a unique password on every single site that you log into. All your social media, all your banking, any site that you log into, when you create a password on some random website that you're buying some product from, you should be creating a unique password for that website. And the way that you remember that password is through a tool called a password manager. It's also very important that you make sure you use two-factor authentication on everything that you do, especially the important stuff. If you're going to be lazy about it, don't be lazy about it on the important stuff like the social media, the banking, the email, places where hackers can really do some damage and find some information that they can use to either steal money from you, break into an account, or extort you. So those are the kinds of things that we're seeing out there. So password managers and two-factor authentication are really important. The cool thing about a password manager is You only have to remember one master password. I recommend making that a strong. Try to use a phrase that no one can kind of figure out. You might want to make it up. Do something like that versus using a password, or because you don't want to buy a password manager and then use a password that's already out on the dark web or a close variation to it, because then somebody could log into your password manager. Make sure your password manager has two-factor authentication turned on. And the other cool thing about password managers is it will create that unique password for you. For instance, you can set a 14-character password with letters, numbers, capital letters, special characters. It gives you a random password every time on every site. It does it for you. All you got to do is click a button and then paste that in, or automatically put that into the password field every time you create an account. And the other cool thing is when you go to a website like Facebook or your bank, you can usually click a little button and it automatically fills in the username and password in those fields for you, so you don't have to type anything out. You just hit the buttons, it automatically puts it in there, username, password, and you log in, and then you two-factor, and then you're into your account. So that's it for today. I just wanted to point out what this was. It was news that hit within the last couple of days. I wanted to share what it was, and not really minimize, but it's not that huge of a deal. It wasn't like this is billions of new passwords that were found. This is an aggregation of already known stolen passwords, and you can now buy them on in a single spot on the Cyber Underground. And the other thing too is just make sure that you're doing some kind of dark web monitoring for your email address and your passwords that you use on the accounts that you log into. So if you only have one email, you only have to monitor one. But if you're using multiple emails for different accounts, then you got to monitor all those and make sure that that password isn't being shared among the cyber criminals on the dark side of the internet. So I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend, and stay warm if it's cold where you're at. And we will see you next week, and go out and get yourself a password manager. Take care, everyone.